Hello, welcome back to Minecraft. Daemon and Mallinka, hello.
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 So this episode is another kind of bits and bobs kind of episode with little projects going on. Mallinka is going to busy himself with a power station, aren't you?
Well, it's more like gathering all the power we've got all over the place into one building.
Yeah, so nothing that exciting, but we've made a cool room for it at least, we'll show that later. And me and Daemon over the week has been working on automatic ore production, so Daemon will start off with that and show us what it is, and if you can explain it from the point of view of what happens each step as you place ore into the logistics pipe system, where it goes and how it gets routed around. So
Should we go over to the other building for that then?
yep, we've got our palace portal here, which I've extended quite a bit. I've got like a ton of logistic pipes under here to make the barrels work. I think, did I show how those worked? You know what, I don't think I did show all the stuff out here.
I don't think you did.
Oh, I think I'll have to do that first. So we'll hold off on your automatic ore generation for a second. So let me click here with my wrench. Each of these barrels have a provider module and an item sync module, and each item sync module is told what's in the barrel behind it. So, and each of these have a sneaky pipe upgrade up in them to make it work. I think I showed that last episode. But let's show some of the other stuff that we've got here. So some of these chests here are marked default, and actually they're filled up, and some weird stuff is going on because that should be being stored somewhere, but never mind. Yeah, so the default chest is if it can't find anywhere else to go, it goes to a default chest, and basically they've got provider module on them so that we can retrieve the stuff back out of them when we need to. And we've got item sync module on them as well, but with the default route saying yes on each one. You can see that's the setup on each of these. Is another default chest. Item sync modules, default route, yes. And if I open up here, you can see that just random stuff ends up being in here where we haven't got any other placement for them. I think this one too. Although the pulverized ending up in this default route, that's something we possibly need to fix. Because I don't think they're supposed to be going in there.
Yes.
In fact, like, this chest has been behaving badly for a while. I'm not quite sure why. You've got two different ore dictionary item sync modules in here. Any reason why you made it two different ones?
There wasn't enough space for one.
Oh, okay, so they have a maximum of 6 that they're allowed to have.
Possibly 8.
Oh, okay.
Till the end of the screen.
Yeah, so basically if I wanted to add something, I can put like dust, redstone in here, click add, and it adds it to the list. That's what the ore dictionary item sync kind of does, apart from, because it's an ore dictionary type, if it's a copper, there's quite a number of different types of copper in the game. Just different mods add different copper types. So what it does is it ignores the fact that there's different types and just says, right, well, it's just copper, so I'll ignore the fact there's two different types. So that's how that works. Then I've got polymorphic item sync modules in a lot of these. Now these polymorphic item syncs basically are saying if it's got, let's have a look in the chest here that's probably got polymorphic in. Let's, like one of these. So say for instance we find Peridot from Project Red. With these polymorphic item syncs, it says, oh, there is peridot in this chest, which means I need to put more peridot in this chest, and so that's what the item sync does basically. So most of these have got polymorphic item syncs on it. No worries, Daemon. I'll just explain. Some of these have got some different ones though. So let me go over. Let's say here. This one has a mod-based item sync module in it. So if I look in here we've got logistic pipes stuff. And what I've done is on the mod-based item sync module, I've actually said anything that belongs to the mod logistic pipes main goes into that chest. So even if there isn't anything in that chest yet, so let's say, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me fix this chest. There we go. Yeah, so if for instance in this chest I provide a pipe, because it's not in here. If I had a provider pipe, put it into the system, it would land in this chest because it knows it's from logistics pipes, even though there isn't a provider pipe in here already. It will just know because it's basically mod based. So that's how we've set up these with a bunch of default chests. What's good about doing the default chests is you should go around in each of the default chests over time and seeing what we're gathering a lot of, and then find a different storage method for them. So for example, these glowstone strips, because I'm using quite a lot of them, I would probably start storing them in a barrel, for example, and move them out just so it's not clogging up the chest. We'll probably want to do the same for slag and the other stuff that's appearing in here, but that's fine. Daemon, you're back, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so let's explain this ore processing again. So I believe the whole process starts from basically here.
It does. We have the ores that are needing like iron ore, gold ore, tin, copper, that type of thing. Gets stored in here for the time being. The provider pipe on the back that we have will be able to send the items out if requested, which we have a supplier set up on the other end which does request it. So we'll have to go there next.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go. There might be a lot of running back and forwards, but, well, I don't think we need to run back actually, because we can explain the next bit verbally.
Yeah, only from, that was the first part we only need to run back for.
Yep. So
I know it looks confusing, but the first part of this is actually in the back. We have two separate pipes on here. We have actually a logic chassis pipe, Mark II on here, and a supplier pipe. The supplier pipes actually will, if there's backed up ore, which gets into the chest, will be supplied through this transvector interface to the pulverizers upstairs.
yeah,
If by chance, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So basically, these are all set up with these ores in here, and it's requesting in bulk 50 to supply the machines upstairs. So let me show the machines upstairs very quickly. They're just induction smelters. So the
pulverizers first.
The pulverizers. Yep, you're right. So yeah, we're basically telling the pulverizers to any ore that comes into the system, we're going to be supplying it through those. Is it request pipes or supplier pipes you're using?
The supplier pipes.
Okay, cool. Supplier pipes, yeah, are being told to supply these pulverizers with any raw ore you find. Okay, and then once it's pulverized, what happens next after it's pulverized?
After it's pulverized, unfortunately, the best solution would be just to immediately stick it in the induction furnace, but to make it look nicer, we use transvector interfaces for those, and use supplier pipes on those, which the same chest got the dust, as well as the ores, which get supplied to the induction smelter, with sand, which is also being requested for these bottom supplier pipes.
Alright, slow down.
Which,
because Yeah, it's quite complicated at the moment, and I'm struggling to keep up with you. So, what's actually happening is out of the pulverizers, we've got extractor Mark IIIs, right, which extract the dust out of the machines. Correct?
Correct.
Right. Then there's those extractor Mark IIIs. They actually put them back in the chest, back in the temple, the same one which we were putting them in originally. Then the dust is told to go into these transvector interfaces that are on my screen now. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yep. And sand as well, which we've also got request mode partial because we were having some weird stuff with the sand. So we put 16 sand should always be kept in the pulverizers upstairs, which I can show. Here. There we go. Every single induction smelter has 16 in. Cool. And the request pipe we saw putting the dust in. Sorry, Daemon. Go on, carry on.
Oh, I was just going to say, the reason why these aren't smelting right now with one dust is because they actually require two in order to actually get the bonus, in order for it to actually function.
Yeah, so the machine's waiting right now, isn't it, for another piece of copper and iron. The only downside to this system, unless we add more smelters to it, which we probably will do, is that any dust which isn't either copper, iron, or lead right now is just bouncing back and forth in our system, trying to enter an induction smelter, find there's no room, and comes back again. So that's the only downside right now, but which we'll fix by adding more on the setup. And then, if I understand right, the last step is the extractors again?
Yes, it is.
Cool. The reason we use these transvector interfaces is just so that we can keep it really tidy upstairs and just have all the chaos downstairs out of view, so that when we're just in this room, it's really nice and tidy. And Daemon, it looks fantastic. I mean, considering these 6 blocks here are basically doing all our ore processing, and that's it. And then all the gumph is downstairs. That's just amazing, to have it this tidy. So well done on that.
The good thing about the pulverizers, though, for 1 ore will make 2 dusts, so shouldn't have any backed up in the induction smelter. But in the event that we do, we just pull out the 1 dust and go normally smelt it.
Yeah, and some things like copper, if you pulverize copper, this is the reason why we're doing it dust first, as opposed to just smelting it, which you can do, and it doubles your ore that way. Just go straight up and smelt it with the sand. We put a pulverizer step in because copper turns into 2 dust and sometimes 1 gold. So because of the sometimes part of it, we wanted to keep that, and hence why we've got that set up with pulverizers first.
I believe it's a 10 to 25% chance, somewhere on in there.
Yeah, or each different ones. You can look it up in any eye anyway. It tells you the percent chances, everything. Cool. Right. Daemon, if you want to go and help Mallinka, I'm going to carry on. And my sword, when we did our sigil, got nabbed and then exploded and it disappeared. So my cool sword that I made with Tinkerers the other week, unfortunately is dead. So I'm going to replace it. I'm going to replace it with something a bit different. And we're going to use Flux. This is from Redstone Arsenal. And if I have a look here, there's a nice sword. And I think what I'll start off with is the Electrum ingots, and what I need for the Electrum ingots. To make these Electrum ingots, we need Flux Electrum blend, which we'll get into in a moment, and Pyrotheum dust. Now we're going to need a lot of Pyrotheum dust for a few builds that we are doing. And you can see here I've got a recipe here for Pyrotheum dust, and it's blaze powder, pulverized coal, sulfur, which you can find out in the world, or if you don't find it in the world, what you can do is pulverize blaze rods, and you get a small chance of getting sulfur out of it, so that's good, and some redstone. So I can actually just grab a bunch of pyrotheum ahead of time here. I'll grab a bit more, there we go. So that's a pyrotheum step. Now we need the electrum step. So if I come in here and request some electrum, I should probably find out how much I need. So let's just do a quick check. So we need 2 electrum ingots, and we get 2 from having 2 electrum blend dust. And the dust comes from... Oh, I actually have to do it on the dust, that's fine. Pulverized silver and gold. I might just be able to take our electrum actually. Request 2 of them. Hopefully this works. Slap it in a pulverizer over here and turn it into dust. So I think that's going to be required. Shouldn't take too long. It should appear in this chest any second. Once the pipes get round to sending it round. Okay. The next part, because I need flux electron blend, I need to find out how much. So it's basically 2 buckets of redstone. And if you get 1 bucket each. So I think I need 4 redstone altogether. So if I take just 4 here, place it in the magma crucible, that will turn it into liquid redstone that will go into this fluid transposer. I've got 4 buckets worth here, and I believe because each electron blend requires 2 buckets worth. If I do that, that should empty the machine. Yep, here we go. So now this electron blend is now considered destabilized electrum. Or, sorry, fluxed electrum. Sorry, I forget. Here we go. Now I've got 2 fluxed electron blends. And, let me see here. I lost myself here. Oh, that's right, induction smelter. With the induction smelter, if I place the electron blends in here, and some of this pyrotheum, it will cook up in the induction smelter and make our ingots. So it's a bit of a, multi-stage steps to make that, but that's fine. What's up, Mallinka?
Nothing, I just moved too much.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'll go and make an obsidian rod now, actually. That should be easy to do, and I need a flux crystal. Flux crystals, I only need 2 buckets each diamond as well, and I need 2. So let's request, oh, do you know what, in one of these I've got 2 diamonds, here we go, 2 diamonds, and 4 redstone again, for the exact same reason, is each diamond is going to require 2 buckets of redstone to get this going, so that's fine. And while that's working, I guess I'll request our obsidian as well. I'll just request, I'm not quite sure how many sticks you make out of this. What I'll do is I'll just request 4 obsidian just to make sure it's going to work. Once the obsidian arrives, shouldn't take too long. Here it is. To make obsidian rods, I believe you just place it like this. At least I hope that's right. Oh, it isn't right. Oh, okay. That's okay though. I'm thinking Tinkerer's construct stuff. A little bit of wastage there. I wonder if I've got any pulverized obsidian. I may do. Yeah, I do. So you can actually just stick obsidian in a pulverizer and grab that. And I believe I also saw the request for blaze powder, so let's grab some of that too. Oddly enough, I think I need 1 stick, so I'm going to have some extra here that I don't actually need. But that's fine. So by placing it like that, that's how we get our stick. And in here we should have our electrum ingots and our crystals. And a little bit of lag there. That's fine. So with our obsidian rods, the crystals on each end. We get an infused obsidian rod. Take that with our electrum ingots. And we finally have our flux infused sword. Now you can see here there's flux infused all sorts of things, and they are pretty cool. The wrenches, battle wrenches, are both like a combined sword and wrench in one, which is kind of funky. I can't remember what each of these does, but I do know that, for instance, the pickaxe will mine in a 1x3, so not quite as good as a hammer. But they're also very fast, and one thing that's quite good about the pick is it will mine dirt at the same speed as it mines everything else. And if I place my sword in here, grab the energy, which is nice. Oh, actually, I'm going to borrow your flux capacitor as well that you've made. You can make the flux capacitors, I think we've shown them before. But if I right click while it's... shift right click while it's in my inventory, I can turn it on, and then if I actually use the sword on something, let me think, what could be around that I can kill? I'll run over
I'm here in the thermal room.
Oh, are you? In which case I might give you a whack. You've got decent armor. So the energy in my sword at the moment is full, which you can see 160,000 RF is in here. And tell me how many hearts this does with your steel armor.
Heart and a half.
A heart and a half? Okay, that's pretty good. And you can see, because I've got this flux capacitor in here, that's not drained, but the flux capacitor has a tiny bit. So you can actually keep it in, but you have to keep it in your hotbar. The other thing you can do with this is, if I press V, it empowers the sword. Now, if I hit Demon, how many damage did that do?
That was 6 hearts without any armor.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't help compare. If you... Yeah, put your armor back on.
3 hearts.
Okay.
So double.
Nice.
You guys playing Murderer again?
Yeah, a bit, which is kind of cool. So this does a lot of damage, and what's quite good about these swords, as opposed to like Tinkerers, to give it, looting and the rest of it, you have to place different items into it. By adding redstone gives it, say, haste. Adding nether quartz gives it sharpness. These swords, these flux ones, can just be enchanted the vanilla way, so you can put them in an enchanting table and enchant them up that way. So yeah, a nice sword. I'm getting really bad lag spikes today. I'm not quite sure why. I'll have to probably reboot before I record the next episode. But hopefully it calms down enough.
Well, you're actually it's starting to be noticeable on Vent even.
Yeah. I might actually just... I don't know what's happening. I think my PC's doing something in the background it shouldn't be. So in just a moment, I'm going to... When my PC unfreezes, I'll actually pause recording for a moment. God damn it. This isn't good. There we go. Alright, I'm back. You wouldn't believe the gap in between, actually. It's been like 6 hours or something. Well, no, it's been like 3. But my computer went on the super derp, and then Mojang's servers went down, and yay. But anyway, our power temple. The Temple of Power. So Mallinka's been building that. That's pretty good. It's very... I'm trying to think of the word of the building.
Classic?
Well, yeah, it's classic temple, but there's a building that I was
It's a Greco-Roman style, but that's because Persia had Greco-style temples.
Yeah. So in here we've got magmatic dynamos all set up from elsewhere, and you can see we've got a power line in the middle that they're all facing, and we've made these big redstone energy conduits because the power's going to build up. You'll see actually there's quite a lot of power running through these in a minute. So each of these gets run downstairs and up into certain things. Now these other bits where it just goes straight up but not into anything, that's for future power towers for later, which is fine.
Yep.
Then we've got energy cells. So over on this side is energy storage, right?
Yep. We've done a little fun trick here. I'll destroy a bit of the wall so you guys can see. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
What I've done is on the back side, hidden with some covers, we've got the power coming in. And from top side going down, all the power is draining in the cube beneath it. So what we've got on the back side coming in, and the bottom side was that second cable you guys could see for a bit. That's where the power goes to somewhere else. And if Fire turns around, he can show what that is.
Yep. So this is for Tesseracts. The thing is, we have no Tesseracts. That is about to be fixed right this second. So let's go do that. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I've used glowstone strips on the each side of this pathway. That lights up our pathway. So when we get rid of torches in the desert, which we plan to when we've got magnum torches down as well, then yeah, the city should be lit up by these pathways instead. It's pretty cool. I'll let the others sleep while I deal with this side.
I'll go grab a nap.
So you saw the pyrotheum blend earlier. Now there's something called enderium blend as well. Now this requires pulverized tin, some pulverized shiny metal. Now shiny metal comes as either if you pulverize ferrous metal, it's a rare chance of getting it, or if you induction smelt ferrous metal with cinnabar, you get a guaranteed shiny metal. Now we're going to show ways of doing that later on in one of our builds, but for now we've just been using the rare chance. Add an ender bucket to all of this and we get enderium blend. I'll grab this enderium blend here, and to cook the enderium blend you just put it in the induction smelter with some pyrotheum dust and cook it in the smelter like so. And that turns into enderium ingots. Enderium ingots placed like so with some hardened glass and some diamonds gives you tesseract frames. Tesseract frames, now if I get some ender pearls, and if my calculations are correct,
I'll go check if there's some new ones already.
Cool. Yeah. So each frame to fill them up requires 1,000 ender, liquid ender, and to make 1,000 liquid ender, that takes up 4 ender pearls. So with 3 tesseract frames to fill up all 3, we need 4, 8, 12. Which I'm putting in. Get the magnet.
So basically, compared to the old Tesseract recipe, you're expending a lot more resources, aren't you?
Yeah, they're much more expensive. You know, for fairly good reason. So yeah, once all of that's cooked up, which is happening now, you'll see that the ender frames get filled up. Once the ender frames are filled up, that's not the last step, however. You take those frames, you surround them in silver and bronze, like so, and you get tesseracts. And we'll be needing a lot of these for builds all over the place, but what I'm going to do is show these in place. Let's start over here. If you want to pick up that battery that I've got here.
There's a better place for it actually. Let me grab my wrench.
You want me to go downstairs?
Usually just... Yeah, that's better. Damn, okay. I fell into the hole.
Okay. I could just put it in that gap. It doesn't really matter whereabouts in this room. I might just put it in the corner. It's fine. Okay. So, to get this Tesseract going, there's quite a few, because Tesseracts have changed. So bear that in mind. And if I set the frequency of 1, and we're going to call this main power station, and hit tick, and then we should save the frequency as well. Now frequency 1 is now considered our main power station, and on the configuration here, this is where most of the stuff has changed. So now instead of having 3 different Tesseracts, previously you used to have Item Tesseract, Energy Tesseract, and Liquid Tesseract. Now you've just got one. And these Tesseracts can actually switch modes. So you can have items, fluid, and energy running in the same Tesseract. In this case, what we want
It's
to be
got 6 sides, so why not?
doing is we won't be sending anything through this Tesseract at this side of it. But what we will be doing, because I've unconnected it, you can see like this has gone black because there's nothing happening. If I switch the energy mode on, and now not to send only but to receive only, that should be more of a happy bunny. I don't think I have to do any wrenching here, but I'll just check. I don't think so. I think that's good. And enabled low, that's fine. I can just ignore redstone signals just to be on the safe side. And you can see like it's animating again, and it's kind of happy, but not 100% happy right now. That's because it isn't actually receiving its energy yet, because it's a one-way pipe. There's nothing actually sending to it. So let's do that. What's quite good about these is that you can do ownership tricks with Tesseracts as well. So previously you could have it set to owner or everyone basically, so you could kind of lock it. This time it's a bit different, and I might try this out actually. So if you see here right now it says owner Firelash. I'll set all the stuff up. Let's ignore the redstone signal and send it on sending energy. By the way, that should make everything happy on both sides now. Except I've got receiving everything, so let's take off the receiving. And energy mode, send only. There we go. That should be a bit happier. Okay, and it looks like it's connected up. Anyway, as I was saying about the ownership, I could actually, there's now like 3 different modes as opposed to 2. So there's owner only, which is the old thing of only I can touch it, and there's public, which is everyone can touch it, which is all good, that's fine. But there's a new mode called restricted. And restricted mode, you see this heart symbol, it's basically a friends list. Now, if I type in /COFH friends, it might just be single. If I do this one better, friend GUI, because there is a GUI for this, I can actually select which one of my friends has access to it. So I can add Mallinka to the list. And now actually what it does is anything which I have set to friends list, now me and Mallinka can access and change it, but I can't. So if I had a strong box and had it on friends mode, then me and Mallinka can use it and Daemon can't. Daemon, do you want to confirm to me that you have no access to change anything on this?
Says this is private and belongs to Firelash. You could have lost your hand.
Okay.
Sucks to be you.
Nice. So I'm
Yes,
actually
it does.
just going to turn it on to public access and turn it on, which is fine. And I'll check the configurations, it's sending energy. And we should check that it's actually sending energy. It shouldn't be too much of a problem to do, I hope. I could probably do it by charging something in one of the cells, but let's have a look. So if I come through here and, I don't know, let's say recharge my hammer. Now, if it wasn't connected, this power here would be dropping, but the fact that it's staying stable means that actually we've got power in, because I've got no batteries anymore. We've stripped the batteries out of the system. I'll just confirm that by showing you downstairs. You can see that the batteries have gone, there's no batteries, all we have is this Tesseract supplying all the power.
Actually, where the Tesseract is right now is where the magnetic dynamos used to be.
Indeed, yeah. So, yeah, that's done. We're going to go ahead and switch out all of our stuff for Tesseracts for the power, for various reasons. Cool. Anything else that anyone wants to do and add? I think this is good to wrap up because We accomplished both our
This
plans.
If
is
you'd
wrap up.
like, you can actually really quickly show the magnum torches.
Okay. I thought I did on another episode. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. But just in case I didn't. That's how you make a chandelier. And this is how you make a magnum torch. If I grab one of these magnum torches and I can place it down. This has some rather clever effects, but if I placed it down, say over here, then on a 64 by 64 block radius, it's going to prevent mob spawns. I think it lights up in a 16 by 16 block radius, but actually prevents mob spawns on a 64 by 64 block radius. And it does that forcibly as well. It's not just as simple as does its light reach anything. It actually, in the whole of the 64 block radiuses, that mobs are literally prevented from spawning. And in some cases, it overrides particular mechanics. There are other mechanics that override it back again. So, for instance, right, and here's something we're going to use later on, but magnum torches in the deep dark, they work. Now, placing torches in the deep dark, they don't work. So, because the deep dark is very odd, but the deep dark prevents torches restricting mob spawns. But the magnum torch overrides that and prevents mob spawns regardless of light level. That's all cool.
How does Cursed Earth work out for that then?
And Cursed Earth, as I was about to get to, overwrites it yet again over the top and makes sure the mobs spawn regardless of any other mechanics, magnum torch or otherwise. So unfortunately, you cannot do a sigil activation ritual with a magnum torch nearby and do it safely. That doesn't work. That would still turn everything to Cursed Earth and it would still cause mass mobs. So just FYI about magnum torches, they do not help you with sigils, but they do help you in the deep dark.
Well, that's it for the moment then.
I guess, yep. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave comments. We're available for me, Daemon, and Mallinka. See you next time. Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.